Okay, we've refilled our coffee cups today, and we're set to go. Our first interview of the day here at the Big Round Table. Pleasure to welcome back from Albuquerque Business First. Publisher and CEO is Ian Anderson. Ian, good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah. Got to get my coffee. You guys have
early Monday morning
in the business. That's for
sure. We gotta live up to that Morning Brew reputation.
You are living above and beyond.
Well, good to hear.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron. Well, we got him here, and let's get into some business. What do you say?
I just got my new Albuquerque Business First issue yesterday. I think it was delivered Friday or Saturday.
There's pictures of the lofts there.
Yeah. What's happening here at the lofts?
Well, the cover story this week, it's actually it's about the millennials and about this race towards really how the race to rent, right? So the rental housing, we're at a 95-96% occupancy rate, and after the recession, there's a little bit of hesitancy to go in and sign those 50-page leases and 50-page mortgages.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just jump headfirst into owning. So you're seeing really a flight towards or a flight away from the McMansions that were popular in the 2000s, and now you're seeing the resurgence of a rental market. So the echo boomers, the millennials, combined with some I guess older generation.
Where did Gen X go in all this? I don't know.
Gen X, Gen Y, millennials, the whole 9 yards. But then you see some that have gotten burned on investments, and everything from people don't even want to own CDs or video games. It's renting, it's Netflix, and it's that low commitment. It's a whole new lifestyle.
I get it. Believe I got burned.
You get it?
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I know in downtown, a lot of the lofts, they were actually having issues selling.
Right.
So a lot of them are actually renting now.
Right. Well, I mean, you have the Anasazi project that's up and running now, and they're pre-selling those higher end apartments, and then you've got some multifamily, mixed use residential developments that are happening. The downtown grocery store. There's a lot of these moving forces that are happening, and you feel it bubbling up, and that you see what will hopefully and eventually be a very vibrant downtown. Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. To hear.
Yeah.
Okay, you had nominations for the 2014 Women of Influence Awards, and you opened those up the other day and have been inundated, like that storm we had the other night.
I tell you, it's you open up the floodgates, and we opened them up, and then I think it was in 24 hours there were 150 nominations.
Wow.
So that was pretty. I mean, to give it a little bit of a snapshot. I mean, we had 400 total last year, and I think there were 75 in the first day. So
almost double that.
Yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
it's there's definitely a.
How many of women of influencer will you be honoring?
We do. We keep the numbers as tight as we can. I mean, we look at about 20 to 22 out of those 400. Yeah.
So there's not a finite number, but you try and keep it in a range.
Yeah, I mean, you try to we don't judge. We have an outside panel of judges, local CEOs, previous winners, and we give them some guidance on how many we want. And then, just being, very, I would say just being CEOs and that kind of driver mentality, and they kind of take the reins and they give us what they want to give us. And generally there's, between 22 and 25. So, yeah.
It's such a great honor, too, because I see so many women that are just so brilliant in this town. And a lot of them, they don't really, put themselves on a pedestal or anything, and they're very modest.
Right.
But they do so much for the community.
No, absolutely. I think, you're right. I mean, they are modest, and they're humble, and they don't put themselves on pedestals, and that's what we can do. So it's, a lot of times they're nominated not by them. I mean, they receive notification that they're nominated, and sometimes you kind of have to nudge them along to get them to really brag about themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, because these now these applications and these nominations have gotten so I don't want to say competitive, but I mean, there's a really large pool of candidates. So we say, don't, brag about yourself. Really, put it all
Let's
on
hear
the
it.
sheet. Yeah, the worst thing is if, we'll see someone we know who's out in the community and does all these wonderful things and is a CEO of an organization. And then, I'll see a 1 or 2 sheet come in with, 1-2 sentence answers and just brag about it. Yeah,
This is your time.
Exactly.
Well, is there a deadline for this?
There is, and it's in, we've still got time just being opened. I think it's the last week in November, so right around Thanksgiving.
Okay.
If we get it in before then we should be in good shape, yeah.
It's going to be a competitive field this year.
It will be, it gets more and more competitive every year. I know, last year, Governor Martinez, she sent letters of recognition to all the honorees, and then Congresswoman Michelle Lujan Grissom, she entered them all into the congressional record in Washington, D.C. So, we're really, it's kind of developed a brand of its own. And so we expect it to be pretty competitive.
That's awesome. So there's a big event too that goes around that. When is that event?
That's in February. So that'll be about the 3rd week in February. So, yeah.
You have an event coming up in a few weeks, the top CEOs.
Yeah.
October 17th.
So October 17th, we've got our top CEOs event. It's we've 20 again. It's about, I think 21 CEOs, and then we've got Dean Brown, Doug Brown, he's being recognized for the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh, wow.
Great.
So
he's retiring, so this is perfect.
Yeah, he's retired a couple of times.
Yeah.
So I always see him and I say, so what's this retirement going to look like? And he holds his cards close to his vest. So, but it'll be fantastic. We actually didn't have a Lifetime Achievement Award or a Career Achievement Award. The judges they looked at it and they said this is something we really want to do. So yeah,
that'll happen every year now, I think.
I think so too. I think so. Yeah.
And these CEOs, are they all just in Albuquerque, or is it throughout New Mexico?
Just throughout New Mexico, yeah. This is, we have some CEOs. I think we have one from Taos. We have one, obviously Santa Fe and down in Las Cruces.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they come from the entire state. So it's a really neat opportunity to get them all in one room.
Yeah.
When it's not always the most conducive to do that. Yeah.
Now that's a great networking event to go to.
It is, and it's a luncheon, so it's we have it's a great networking event. It's a high energy event.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have our video vignettes and highlights, career highlights of all of the honorees, and yeah, it'll be a good time. Yeah.
Okay, a lot of business buzz about Winrock Center and some interesting things going on down there. What's the latest?
I tell you, I mean, Winrock, it is really, the whole uptown area. I mean, it's kind of taken on a life
really
of its own,
yeah.
right? And I wasn't here yet. I guess as the whole thing was, I guess this has been unfolding for some time.
There's so many different stages to it.
Sure. So, the latest, Joe's Crab Shack, which, I mean, man, talk about we're always measuring the online analytics of what these articles are doing, and this thing just took off, and it was one of the top read stories in the country from our business news publications. It's a Joe's Crab Shack's out of Texas, and they're in the Southwest, they're in the Southeast, and man, people are excited to have Joe's Crab Shack here. And then we've got IMAX. So the IMAX is opening November 8th. So that'll be neat too.
Oh, really?
I'm excited that that's actually opening soon.
Yeah.
Usually it's like, okay, yeah, it's going to open this day, and then it gets pushed back. But it seems like it's actually happening finally.
They've been working on it for a while now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, I drive by it, and yeah, it went up fast. That's for sure. So they're really, I mean, you see construction workers going on the weekends, and that there's a timeline there.
Yeah.
So, Uptown and Winrock in particular, Pegasus Retail, so Anthony Johnson, the CEO of Pegasus, he says he's got 9 to 10 deals in the works that are imminent. So I think you're really going to see that take off.
And I've been hearing a lot of rumors too. I know a lot of ladies I talk to are all talking about a possible Nordstrom rack.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard any confirmations on that yet, so I can't prove anything, but that would be awesome.
If I had $1 for every rumor I heard about Nordstrom Rack, I'd be able to go shop at the regular Nordstrom.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have to go to just the Rack.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean that's that's another one that's been floating around, gosh, for a couple of years, and trust me, I think we would all love to see them come to town.
Sure.
It would be fantastic, but there's definitely there's an appetite for some new business coming to town. That's for sure.
We're going to put the website for Albuquerque Business First up on the screen. 2014 Women of Influence nominations are now open.
Yes.
Top CEOs event October 17th, and lots of good business buzz.
Yeah.
Good to see you again,
Good
Ian.
to see
Thank
you
you.
guys. Thanks for
so
having me.
much.
Great to have you on the Morning Brew. Come back for coffee anytime.
I will.
Hot's always on.
Bright and early.
Okay.
Cool. All right, guys.
Thank you much.
Thank
Coming up next, speaking of business, Albuquerque Hispano Chamber has been busy lately. They've got a lot of events coming up, and we're going to get the lowdown on that when we continue here on the Morning Brew. I hope you stay with us. We're just getting warmed up. It's the Morning Brew. I'm Larry. This is Aaron. We'll be back.